Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ, where we help you lead with purpose and succeed with impact. If you're ready to grow into the kind of leader others want to follow, this podcast is for you. If you're determined to elevate your success and leave a lasting legacy, this podcast is for you. As my mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell reminds us, everything rises and falls on leadership. Our goal is simple: to inspire you, challenge you, and equip you with insights that can transform the trajectory of your leadership journey. Welcome aboard to another episode of the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach BZ.
Hello, Coach BZ and everyone in the leadership and success community. My name is Uberto Barbini and I'm joining from Fukuoka, Japan today. I'm a software engineering, technical author, international speaker, Google developer expert, and lifelong student of software development and software craftsmanship. I'm currently work as a senior software engineer at Kraken, and in my job, I lead a team working on AI. And over the course of my career, I work across telecommunication, publishing, banking, financial, fintech, and similar company. I've been programming since the 1990s, working with everything from Java, Kotlin, Python, Scala, Haskell, C Sharp, Clojure, and other technology. But through all those changes, I remain passionate about one thing, that is building software well and being sure that we deliver the value for customer in production through good design, testing, continuous learning, and disciplined engineering. Today, of course, artificial intelligence is charging software development incredibly quickly. That brings me to my book, Process Over Magic, Beyond Vibe Coding. The central idea is pretty simple. AI assistants are extraordinarily powerful tools, but they are not magic. And if you wanted to make AI to make us better and to solve our problem, we still need a strong process. Otherwise, we are just calling the magic and hope. We need a consistent result. And we need to understand what we are building, work in small steps, test our assumption, and also question the AI when something doesn't make sense. And because we are ultimately, at the end of the day, we are responsible for what we create. So during my conversation with Coach BZ, we talk about leadership, AI, software engineering, vibe coding, continuous learning, human accountability, and what skill will matter most as AI became increasingly.
All right, we have a very special guest for you, originally from Italy, but coming to us all the way from Japan. All right, before I bring him in, as we normally do, we have what we call a moment of gratitude. So this is the second show we are recording live today. And just as a reminder, earlier today, I was really grateful for freedom, like I've been pretty much every day since June 10th. I think human beings were meant to be free. But I am also especially grateful for both my daughters. Our youngest one is about to start college next week, actually. I can't believe it. She just turned 18 years old, and now she's going to become a college student. And this morning, when I was talking to Jack, he said that he was the very first one in his family to go to college. And then his son, his middle child, didn't go to college at 18, but actually graduated from college at 18 years old. Isn't that just amazing? And I remember my father, Robert Zinga, always told us that education was the way to go, right? People might be able to take everything away from you, but they will never be able to take away your education. It was extremely important for my dad. And I told my kids since they were born, they would graduate from college, right? They really didn't have a choice now. Anything beyond a bachelor, that is up to them. But I am just so grateful for the opportunity, and for the fact that both of my kids are going to be a college graduate in the next four years. So really grateful for that. So let us know where are you guys joining us from. I know I especially invited my connection from Italy and from Japan, but wherever you are coming from, let us know what city and what state, if within the US, and which country, if outside of the US. Let us know what you are grateful for. And of course, if you have a question for my guest, go ahead and type it in the comments, and we're going to be answering you live from LinkedIn or YouTube. Okay, let me see if I can properly introduce our guest today. I have the great pleasure of speaking with Uberto Barbini. He's a senior software engineer at Kraken, technical author, international speaker, Google developer expert, and open source contributor, and longtime advocate for test-driven development, extreme programming, functional programming, and domain-driven design. With decades of experience in building and modernizing software across telecommunication, publishing, global banking, financial services, and technology, Uberto has worked with organizations including Vodafone, Standard Chartered, Citi, Springer, Nature, and Kraken. He is also a true polyglot, right? Programmer whose journey has taken him through Java, Kotlin, Python, Scala, Haskell, C++, Clojure, and more. But our conversation will be about something bigger than just programming. How should we lead when artificial intelligence can increasingly do the work? So he is the author of the newly released, it's going to be a best-selling book, Process Over Magic, Beyond Vibe Coding, a timely exploration of how professional can harness AI assistance without surrendering critical thinking, engineering discipline, accountability, or control. So his message is one every leader should hear. AI is powerful, we know that, but it is not magic, right? Process does matter, judgment does matter, and human still matter. So part of what we're going to be learning today is what vibe coding actually means and when it becomes dangerous. But we will also be learning today about what leadership looks like when humans and increasingly capable AI agents work side by side, not replaced by AI, but working with AI. So one question we'll sit at the center of our conversation is, when AI can generate the work, who is responsible for understanding it, challenging it, verifying it, and ultimately owning the outcome? I used to say, I speak quite frequently across America and around the world. And when I speak about AI and cybersecurity, I used to ask, well, whenever AI commits a crime, who is going to go to jail? Well, a couple of weeks ago, right, Chat GPT committed several crimes, hacking systems from OpenAI customers. And that's not just something that is in our imagination. It's not just fictional, but it's actually a reality. So I believe AI governance really truly matters. So my answer begins with leadership, and I believe we can delegate tasks, we can automate work, but we cannot automate accountability. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please help me welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast, one and only Uberto. How are you doing today?
I am very well. Thank you very much for enjoying me. And also, congratulations for your daughter.
Yes. Thank you. Actually, I am talking to you tomorrow, right? I am in California. Today is Wednesday. It's about 4:40 p.m. here. I believe it's about 8:45 in Japan, where you are. I just love technology, how it can bring us together regardless of time and distance. So maybe to get started, Huberto, what is one thing you are grateful for today?
um, today I'm grateful that we can live here in the countryside of Japan,
Mhm.
and I can do my work from home,
Oh,
and
nice.
I can enjoy stay with my family and my daughter, spending a lot of time without going to the
Yes.
office.
So
With
important. Well, I'm in the Navy. I've been almost 22 years now. I've been assigned to Japan a couple of times. I've been to Yokosuka. I think it's about an hour from um, the capital,
yeah,
Tokyo. And then
yeah.
I've also been assigned to Sasebo, which is like way, way in the village, far, far, far away. I don't think I ever want to go back there, but Yokosuka, Tokyo was very, very nice. So, if I may ask you, for people who don't know you, what is one thing about you that they may not know when they first meet you? Maybe a superpower, a special skill you have, just something about you most people don't know.
Uh, I'm um, I'm actually from Venice,
Mhm.
and the city, the central city,
Yes.
and I grew up there. And before, at that time, there was not many tourists, and I used
Wow.
to to row on my boat.
Yes. Wow. Italiano. I love it. Actually, my last name Zenga is actually Italian also. I don't know that's
Yeah.
my ancestors are from because there is a lot of village, right? I think it's southeast of Italy. I haven't gone there, but sometimes I joke with my kids. I say that's our ancestral village. It isn't, but anyway, I would like to go visit it sometime. It's beautiful. I actually almost went to Italy for university after high school, but eventually my parents decided to take me to the US. But before we talk about AI and software and your new book, can you take us back to the beginning? Who is Uberto Barbini, and what experiences shaped the person and the leader you are today? No, above and beyond all of your accolades and achievements.
Uh, yeah, I started since I was a kid to be very fascinated by computer,
Wow.
and I started learning myself programming when I was, I don't know, 10, 11 years old, doing my first video game.
Hmm.
And I was not very good at school actually, but because I was very concentrated on stuff that I found, for example, mathematics at school very boring because I was
Really?
more advanced, but I couldn't bother about history or literature.
Wow. That's
So
amazing because I believe my research is showing me that you actually studied philosophy in school, right? Ca'
yeah,
Foscari University of Venice.
but then but still, I mean, I don't really like these matters where topics where you have to memorize stuff,
Hmm.
and
Wow. So, how did you go from philosophy to having a career in software engineering, financial technology, architecture, and
yeah,
consulting
that
in
was
AI?
also a bit funny because I mean, at that time in Italy there was no university for computing.
Wow.
Actually, there was, but it was quite far. There was only two in Italy at that time, and so the um, choice will be like electronic engineering, but
Hmm.
I didn't really like. So
Wow.
I and really at that time it's strange to think now, but was it like in end of 80s, start of 90s? It
Hmm.
was, at least in Italy, it wasn't clear that you could really do a profession out of programming
Yes.
on this personal computer, because there
Mhm.
was the bigger computer, but
Yes.
personal computer seems still like a kind of hobby fringe
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah. Back then, I think we had mainframes, right?
And so I went to philosophy university because I like philosophy, but there was this computer laboratory at the university,
Hmm.
and finished spending all my time in the computer laboratory. And then
Wow.
when people saw that I could do this stuff, they asked me, we can pay you if you do this or if you do that.
That's awesome. Wow. That is really something. Who was one of your favorite philosopher when you studied philosophy?
I like the Greek one, like Plato,
Yeah, Plato. Plato, yeah, is good.
but
Good one.
but
Socrates.
also the modern one, like Ellery Quine.
Yes.
the American. Yeah.
Yeah, I know my French philosopher. I think the best one is Descartes. I
Yeah.
think, therefore I am. Je pense, donc je suis. I used to study his books when I was in high school. But now you have worked across it, Italy, which is your home country, but also Germany, the United Kingdom, and now in Japan, and across organization ranging from startup to Vodafone to Standard Chartered, Citibank, Springer, Nature, and Kraken. What does working across cultures taught you about leadership and collaboration?
It's quite interesting because also, of course, at the beginning of my career, I was completely, 100% on technical side. I
Hmm.
completely disregard the people social side,
Hmm.
and that was actually a cause of a frustration because, like I think in every job, the social side is actually more important than the
Hmm.
technical one.
I think so.
And I mean, as much as I like the technical stuff, is building stuff together that is really
Yes.
important. And the it's interesting because it's I mean, developing software is a kind of high skill. I mean, there is a lot of creativity and mental skill to do
Hmm.
that. So you cannot treat your colleague as just to do this or do that, because everybody have to really contribute creativity and stuff.
Yes.
So it's really important to create a healthy team to get good result.
Hmm.
And the difference between a team of people that are really love their job, but they are committed to the same goal and help each other, versus a
Yes.
team where people, they just, I'm just here for the paycheck. Just
Hmm.
tell me what I have to do, and they're completely reactive.
Yes.
Uh, it's a huge. I mean, there is like 10 times the difference of productivity of.
Wow.
So it's very important for a leader to let people shine, basically,
Yes. Yes.
not trying to to get all the attention, but at the opposite, let
So
people
true.
flourish. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so true because when you are in a STEM field, no, engineering, yes, technical skills I think is crucial. It is important. It's a given. But beyond that, I think we really need to learn to develop those leadership skills because you do have to work with people, and if you're gonna be managing people, you need to be able to get the best out of them. Right? It's wow, so insightful. Now you have been developing software since the '90s. What does remain fundamentally unchanged? You think? About being a great engineer despite all of the enormous changes in technology.
I mean, what to stay the same is that you have problems
Hmm.
and you need to solve them, and there are some constraint, which is you need to deal what is the current state of art or whatever, and
Yes.
you you always need to learn new stuff, because it's funny, like we have a computer that I don't know, 1 million times more powerful that was in the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
um, but still more or less we are solving the same problem, which is how
Yes.
to computer are used to handle, I mean, to manage a company or to sell stuff to people, more or less
Mhm.
same kind of stuff.
Yes. So true. Yeah, it's really amazing how technology has just increased exponentially, and it's becoming more and more powerful and smaller and smaller and smaller. Right? Just this little phone now that we have in our pocket, so much powerful. You're right than all of the computers we had back in the '80s or the '90s. It's just unbelievable. Like I remember back in the day when I was a college student, we used to have those zip card. I think is what it was called. Maybe you would get, I don't know, 2 gig or 5 gig, and we felt like it
Yeah.
was all of the spaces you needed. But now we have terabyte, and it's just incredible how far technology has changed. So this is a great segue to the next segment. We're going to be talking about leadership, craftsmanship, and continuous learning because you describe yourself as a passionate, pragmatic programmer. What does pragmatic mean to you? not just technically, but as a leadership philosophy.
Uh, yeah, I mean, for me, pragmatic means that you, at the end of the day, you needed to bring a result. I mean, to bring
Yes.
something valued for your business, for your
Mm-hmm.
stakeholders. And I like this because it forces you to stay honest. Let's say you
Yes.
cannot just build a great theory of things
Mm-hmm.
and
Always learning.
yeah, give them. You actually needed to give us something that works and
Yes.
solve the problems.
Yes. That is so true, so pragmatic. This is really a really great field, no? Computer science, engineering, software development. Because you were practicing and teaching Agile, Scrum, extreme programming, automated testing, and TD long before they became mainstream. What did those experiences kind of teach you about changing organizational culture when people themselves are comfortable with the status quo, the way they used to do things?
I tell you that is very difficult.
Yeah.
And I would say that basically it's impossible if people don't see the problem. So try to force a transformation that solve the problem, but when people are completely blind to the problem, because
Mm-hmm.
you can say we can do much better than this, but if
Yes.
people don't see as a problem, they say, well, why we are doing pretty fine now.
Yes.
You cannot really change anything. So the
So
first step
true.
is always making sure that people see the problem first, and then
I like that. And
uh,
then you can work on focusing on the problem and solving it
yeah,
with a technology.
yes. And
Whatever.
I mean, I was in an organization where basically they were releasing a new version. I mean, to make some changes, let's
Mm-hmm.
say it will take about 2 weeks, and they were actually pretty smug about that. I mean, we only take 2 weeks,
Wow.
and I was thinking, yeah, but if we could take 2 days to do the same things, and
Yes.
and they were like, in no way, or what, what's the point of taking 2 days? It's too fast or something like that. But
Mm.
when you build the trust, and then you can start say, okay, maybe we can do this slightly different, and this is
Yes.
getting a bit faster, and yes.
Wow. I like that. Yeah, I remember when I came to Silicon Valley, I was 2014, so I was what 12, 13 years ago. That's when I got exposed to the agile methodology. Most companies here they have like a 2 week sprint when they code, and that's pretty amazing. Yeah, every 2 weeks they come up with new code. It's not always very secure, but it's pretty functional. And then they fix whatever bugs that's in the code. It's a pretty interesting way of doing it. But developers sometimes though they do become technical leaders, no, because they are really excellent engineer. But when you start leading people though, I feel like that really requires different sort of skills, right? What was the hardest leadership lesson you had to learn as you moved from being a programmer, very technical, to becoming an architect, a team leader, a consultant, a coach, and a technical leader? How did you transition from being purely technical to developing those people skills as well?
Yeah, I think the critical bit is the communication skill,
Mm-hmm.
because knowing the thing is no more the important bit. The important bit is how you communicate, and you need to make sure. I mean, it's not easy, because when you, for example, you master something, it's very harder to explain someone that is a beginner, because
Mm-hmm.
you have all that many things that are already completely clear to you,
Yes.
and you tended to explain something in a very detailed way that is way over the top to the beginners,
Mm-hmm.
and probably the beginners is a bit intimidated and didn't want to make a question because I feel stupid,
Yes.
and so there is basically you are thinking to explain something, but there is no communication. It's not getting anything.
Yes. Wow. That is so key. Communication is so important. And by the way, how many languages do you speak or at least understand?
You mean computer language?
No. A human language.
Well, Italian, Japanese, English, a bit of
That's
German.
that's really good. Yeah, four languages because people in America they barely speak one language only. It's really amazing when you go overseas now in Europe, in Asia, even in Latin America, people tend to speak three, four, five languages just like that. But that is that is so powerful, especially when you have a team today, now, with the way technology has developed, you also get people that are completely outside of your city or your country or your region, right? I remember one of my first jobs here in Silicon Valley, we had a team. We are here in Palo Alto, California, but we had a team in the United Kingdom, in Ireland. We had another team in India, another team in China, and being able to have meetings with them and being able to work with them on the same project, that was quite challenging, but exciting too. So I think there are a lot of cultural barriers too, right? And not just the language, but I mean, I think it's kind of like the way like you are saying right now, you are living in Japan, kind of in the countryside, and you can work remote from your home. A long time ago, that wasn't really possible to do, but with the technology today, that has pretty much become normal. So in with all of those changes, I think you are right. Communication is really key. So when you mentor younger engineers today, what capability do you encourage them to develop that have nothing to do with programming languages?
Well, I think uh, for junior tends to, I mean, junior, but I mean, whoever is beginning in the profession has
Mhm.
this idea usually that it's important to know a lot of stuff,
Yes.
and they try to make. But
To know
that's
everything.
not really how things happen because there is always more to learn, and so
Yes.
first is much more important to learn how to learn rather than keeping stuff in your head.
I
So,
like that.
for example, if I ask you to do something that you don't know how to do,
Yeah.
I am expecting the good result is that you say, I don't know anything about this, but
Yes.
I will learn about it. I know how to get information. I know how to
Hmm.
ask people and how to, because that's what at the end is required to an engineer. We have a
Yes.
problem, you go out to find a solution, and then you cannot say, I need
Yes.
1 year to learn this stuff. No, you need to learn.
That is so true. Because I remember I was back in the mid 90s when I was going to college. Back then, Fortran was one of the languages everybody was using. And our professor was like, this is it. That's the only language you ever learn to learn for software programming. But now it's completely obsolete. Nobody knows what it is. It's just amazing, just amazing how science and technology has just evolved so quickly. And even today, now we are almost at the point where artificial intelligence can do most of the coding for you. It is really a crazy world we are living in. Is there maybe a mistake you are willing to share that you made earlier in your career that ultimately made you a better leader today?
um, uh, a bit of what I said before. I in the beginning of my career, I was really trying to be, the most skilled technical guy in the
Mhm.
team,
Yes.
and this actually hurt a bit my career at the time, and it took me a while to understand that actually collaborating is a much more powerful tool, and
Yes.
actually instead of trying to win the argument when you are maybe someone that is confrontational, just
Hmm.
say, okay, let's learn. I
Yes.
don't know enough
Wow.
about let's learn together.
That's really, really insightful. The next segment, we're going to be talking about your book, which was published, I believe, in June, right? So just a couple of months ago. I think it's going to become a
Yeah, yeah.
bestseller.
I used to have the
Oh,
paperback.
fantastic. Process over magic, beyond vibe coding. Before we get to your book, we have a question from a member of our audience. Uh, we have, okay, there we go. Daniel is asking on LinkedIn. He says, Uberto, in the context of balancing speed with rigorous engineering process, how should security and system leaders structure AI assisted workflows so that we don't accidentally automate away human accountability, especially when writing and deploying framework for human firewall defense and zero trust architecture? So, how do you use AI but still remain accountable as the human being in charge?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I answered.
Yes.
But yeah, okay, this is the bigger question, and I think the okay, one thing is that my book, because of course the book I have a bit of time. It, it's a bit obsolete already in the details, but
Really? It's only two
yeah,
months old.
it's incredible the speed of
Wow.
these things. But the core message is still totally valid.
Yes.
I mean, there are new version of this AI tool every other week. So
Hmm.
it's, but the main point is that actually you still to be in. I mean, the book is there is a skier because when I was learning to ski, basically the first thing that you try to do is go faster, basically.
Hmm.
But it's actually a bad idea. And your
Yes.
teacher will keep you. You need to keep the hedge. So you need to keep control, basically, if you want,
Yes.
before you can go fast. And I think it's exactly the same with AI.
Mm.
You need to to uh, to stay in control and learn how to stay in control. You need to start with the small things like
Mm. I like
do,
that.
and then as you become more uh, um, confident with the tool,
Hmm.
you can start doing going faster and making
Wow.
longer streak. But you still need to be completely accountable.
Yes. Yes, I like that. It's kind of like, I guess, learning how to bike or even how to drive a vehicle. I remember when I was learning to drive, I was already an adult, not a teenager. It was a little bit challenging, but you really had to learn all of the basics and master that, and then you can drive, as fast as you need to. I like it because your book you published, like I say, June of 2026, so only 2 months ago, and already you're saying some of the content is obsolete already. AI is moving so quickly. But what I really like is you focus on moving from experimental vibe coding, right, toward a controlled professional AI assisted engineering. So it's not engineering being replaced by AI, but it's engineering being assisted by it. I think that's a big difference. So
Yeah,
it has a specification, right? Rule set, testing, legacy code, team adoption, security risk, and even the fundamental of LLM, right? Large language model, pragmatic bullshit. So why did you feel like you had to write this book? Why now? Why did this book need to be written?
yeah. I mean, just want to say, it's not that most of the content is obsolete.
Yes,
It's-
yes.
but um,
I guess
yeah,
specific AI tools, but yeah.
I think there's a lot of in the society that we live in, there is a lot of hype, and
Mhm.
most of the people that got a lot of visibility just Twitter account and stuff like that. They always concentrate on what is new, and
Yes.
that kind of message is always like you can throw away all whatever is the past and do the things in this new like vibe coding,
Mhm.
and I think it's not true, basically. So it
Yes.
is, and there is also a lot of people that are silently, um, you know, resisting AI because they don't like this message that say, vibe coding, throw away the quality. We don't need to care about this stuff. And a lot of
Mhm.
people feel that this message is not true, and they are rejecting AI because of this. But I think actually AI is great also to make this stuff. I mean, to keep the quality, to keep you in control, and still be much faster, and don't
Yes.
worry about the technicalities anymore.
Hmm. That's a great view. So, what happened that made you say, "I need to write the book Process over Magic"? What problem were you seeing in the way developers were adopting AI that made you write this book?
Yeah, I kind of started considering to write a book because when I was I started using AI in for coding. I mean, in January 2005, 2025, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, even after 6 months or stuff like that, every time that I was talking to someone, there was someone that was saying, um, "You are doing wrong because you are still checking your code yourself. You should completely let everything to the computer." Or there was other people that will say AI is completely mm, useless. It's just a sloping and bad result. So I found that there was not many voices on the middle ground. Yeah, let's
Mm-hmm.
do AI, but let's do with quality in mind, keeping control. And I think,
Yes.
okay, maybe
Clearly.
it's a very thin book, so
Yes.
I didn't want to talk a lot about. But yeah,
Mhm.
I think there is a message to be written.
Now, for those who are non-programmers who are listening to this podcast, how would you explain vibe coding in plain English?
Yeah, vibe coding is a bit like using AI, and you can also do vibe coding a document. I mean, a text
Mhm.
document, and just means you ask the AI to write to do something. I mean, write code or write something, and you don't check the result. You just
Mhm.
go with the vibe and
Nice.
just say, okay, do this, and do this and that, and then you just have if it's a software, you just have a look at the software. If it's a document, you just have
Mhm.
quick browser to this to the document.
Yeah.
Just say, okay, this more or less looks right, and let's go with it.
Mm. So I guess the follow-up question would be: when is vibe coding actually dangerous? You think?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's dangerous when you actually care about the result. For example, I mean, if you write an important article, I don't know, or an important, it looks right, but then when you read, you 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 actually realize that a lot of phrases they sounds very good, but they don't say anything, or they are
Yes.
just repeating what is written above.
Mhm.
So a reader get a very bad opinion of you because they say, I mean, this guy is not saying anything, and
Yes.
in the code stuff is like the program more or less work, and then at some point stop working, and you have no idea why, because
Mhm.
uh, um, so it's actually unusable after a few minutes, and
Yes.
um, and this is clearly is not acceptable for production level or professional level.
Yeah. This is really insightful because basically part of what you are saying is we really need human oversight. That is critical if you're gonna be developing software.
Yeah, I think when you are very good with using with AI, you can also delegate some the controller to AI itself.
Yes.
But that's a whole process. What I'm trying to say is not
Mhm.
just telling AI and trusting.
I love it. I love it. That's why I like really your title. You say process over magic. What does that phrase mean to you?
Yeah, it's you need to build yourself a process to get
Mhm.
reliable, consistent result. And magic here means just trusting AI to do, and just or trying to
Yeah.
get asking 10 times with the slightly different words until you
Yes.
get.
Because there is also AI hallucination, right? Where AI just makes up stuff.
Yeah, yes, it's very it's very easy to get to that condition, and there are technical reasons why this happened, and it's not a kind of mistake. In a sense, everything that they are that is a hallucination, just that some happen to be right.
Yes, yes.
and there are way and to limit this risk, and to make an automatic check about those risks.
Mm-hmm.
But still, at the end of the day, you need to, for example, if you are writing something, I don't know, important, like legal or mathematical, you needed to have sources that needed to be checked one by one.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can just, there
Yeah.
was,
I think, go ahead.
no, I mean, there were some cases of legal that wrote
Yeah.
some sentences that didn't exist or stuff like that.
Sure. That happened here in the US. I think it was a couple of years ago. It's lawyers they use, I think it was OpenAI ChatGPT for a legal brief, and all of the cases were completely made up. They didn't exist. Yeah, how can you be a lawyer and not even review that work? That doesn't make any sense, no? Because a lot of what you do in law is based on precedent, what happened before and decisions that were made, and yeah, it's important. So we kind of already mentioned this, but in your book, no, you talk about keep the edge. I really love that, and you use that skiing as a metaphor. That's also the picture, right? You have on the cover of the book. And by the way, is that actually you on the cover, or is that someone else?
uh, I love to, but
Yeah, okay, someone else. That is perfect fine. I think it's a beautiful metaphor, right, for maintaining control while the AI does the acceleration of the development. Can you expand that idea further and really what happened when we sacrifice control over speed?
yeah, what's happened is that basically you don't have a controller. I mean, you don't have a consistent result. I mean, maybe one day it works and the following day it doesn't work. I know some small startup, for example, and they started doing a project with the AI,
Mm-hmm.
and they weren't professional programmers, so it's kind of understandable, but still using this vibe coding uh, only bring them up to a point.
Yes.
And when they start getting actual customer, basically the product stopped working.
Wow.
And they were basically, every time they try to fix something, meaning ask
Mm,
AI, can you fix X? Something,
yes.
they were breaking something else, and maybe
Yes.
even bigger problem.
Wow.
And so it was still a small startup, but it couldn't start because
That's
they,
really crazy.
and that's
Wow.
I think, to be honest, I think that that was not probably true 1 year ago when this stuff happened, but today it's
Yes.
probably good enough that even no technical can do a startup like that. But they
Mm-hmm.
needed to have a process. They need to have AI that check AI, and making sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. And
Mm-hmm.
even if you don't need to be a programmer, you still need to understand how application work. I mean,
Sure. Yeah, because like even here in Silicon Valley, I remember I think it was in 2021, 22 when AI really blew up. They used to say, no, AI is not going to replace your job, don't worry. But eventually, here in Silicon Valley, Fortune 50 company like Google, Meta, they actually laid off software engineer, if you can believe that. And they wanted to have AI to do most of the coding, which when you do it in a lab, in a restricted area, it seems to be working fine. But once you start doing it in production, there were all kinds of issues. Like I know at Google, one of the AI tool they use actually deleted a hard drive with all of the data completely gone. And the AI said it was sorry, but the data didn't come back. So now they're trying to rehire back their software engineer. So it is kind of crazy. So let me ask you this: isn't there kind of like a border leadership lesson here where whether you are coding or making a business decision or conducting cybersecurity, operation, or even just using AI to analyze large uh, information and data. How do leaders know when they are moving so quickly that they have lost the edge, right?
Yeah, I don't know exactly a good answer, but I know that it, it's um, it's a bit like what I was talking before about the message. I know that there was a company where the leadership completely embrace these
Mhm.
things and start telling a developer, you shouldn't check your code anymore. Uh,
Wow.
and you should just let everything to AI. AI is better than you. Just use the AI.
Wow.
And you can imagine this didn't finish very well.
Yes. Yes.
So I think for probably the lesson is that leaders still should trust the engineer to do the right things.
Hmm.
And AI is a tool and should definitely empower, but it's also a tool that is, as we said, dangerous. So you wanted to go faster, but do by step until first. I don't know if you ski, but at the beginning you do this plowman. I mean,
Hmm.
and slowly, and then you start doing a bit faster and faster. Otherwise, if you try to go super fast at the beginning, then you get the hard reality at some
Yes.
point.
Mm. No, I think it's so insightful. What you say, process over magic. So you really need to have a process, a human process, where you can make sure you have a good Q&A and that the codes that you are generating is actually a working code. Because you do argue that developers should understand and take responsibility for the code generated by artificial intelligence. Where should accountability, you think, sit when an AI agent creates something that ultimately causes harm? The developer, the manager, the company, AI provider, or some combination?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more or less the same things that when let's say code is done. I mean, if a developer make a mistake and lose a bank $1 million,
Mhm.
um, whose fault is? I mean,
Yeah.
part of the process that probably doesn't have some guards on it, the part of the developer, the
Mhm.
manager that maybe force him to work late hours.
Yes.
I don't know. Um, but it's basically the same with the AI. And I think at the end, future developers, but already now, it's already happening to me now.
Mm.
You rarely look at the code. I mean, you look a bit at the code, but most of the time you spend to refine the process and the control with the agent.
Yes.
And but you still need to honor the result, let's say. So it's true that AI is not going to replace engineer, but in a sense, engineer became like a team leader of
Mhm.
this AI
I
stuff.
see that. Yeah, because I often tell leaders that no, you can delegate authority, and that's something I've learned in the Navy, but you can never delegate accountability. No matter what, if I am the commanding officer, ultimately I am the one accountable for the mission and for the people in my command, in my unit, even though I can delegate to my department head or to my sailors. So I feel like with AI, it's very similar. Does AI make that leadership principle even more important? You think like when it still needs to be
Yes,
human being
because
accountable?
it's also, in a sense, the technical skill are less and less important because
Mhm.
maybe before you had the problem and you needed to find the guru of that specific
Yes.
library that, and now AI can do this stuff for you very quickly and very cheaply.
Yeah.
And but you still need to have people completely passionate about the products, about building something, and making sure that the quality is still high and the product work as it's supposed to work.
Because one thing I found fascinating in your book is you argue that no persistent, concrete rules are more useful than simply telling your AI, hey, be careful, right? And you recommend explicit instruction around the testing, the documentation, the architecture, clarification, and commit. I guess the question I have for you is you call the rule set perhaps no, the single most important factor in producing consistent AI assisted result. What is a rule set and why should leaders outside software engineering even care about this idea?
Well, yeah, basically, the whole set is like the agent MD file where basically you
Hmm?
put in instruction because at the end of the day, um, the LLM, so the stuff that is under the AI, need a very detailed instruction, but you don't want it to write. You want to write something like do this and that, and there is a lot of implicit, you know, you need to do this, but you need to make sure that the worker with this, that they keep
Hmm.
a lot of implicit stuff that we don't tell each other to human because I'm supposed
Yes.
that you are a senior engineer, so you know all this stuff.
Hmm.
But of course, with the AI, you cannot give as implicitly, and you put in the whole set. So this
Yeah.
is how I want you to work, and uh, and these are the skill that you need to do this stuff. So when I
Hmm.
say do the test, I mean do the test in this way, and
Hmm.
you
I
need
like
to
that.
be very detailed, not in a kind of vague. Do it best of, but to be
Yes.
very specific.
I like that. So could we use the rule set? Could they eventually become like something like an organization AI operating doctrine, kind of like a way of encoding expectation, the policy, the security requirement, and organizational values into how the AI agent will behave in the future?
Yes, definitely. I mean, even in our company now, we have the whole set is shared between the
Mhm.
company, and then teams have the kind of specific whole set for that part of the code.
Yes.
So, and that's definitely also something that is still very important to communicate and to collaborate about.
Mhm. Powerful. But now you have practiced test driven development for a very long time, for decades. But you do argue in the book that testing becomes even more important with artificial intelligence. Why is that?
Yeah, that is kind of interesting because I'm really a big advocate, and AI actually make the case that is even more important because yeah, LLM AI agent tends to hallucinate, so we need them to stay honest.
Mm.
And the test is the fastest and better way to have a feedback, so the agent can do something and then see that the test is failing, so he can reason about why it's failing, and actually it's
Mm.
also when asking something to AI now, I'm asking AI, okay, I want to do this. Tell me how would you test? So the I
Yes.
write the test, but I validate, and validating the test, I can making sure that AI is actually understanding what I'm asking for.
Hmm. Wow. I like that. And I know in the military, we always talk about trust, but verify. I guess it's an old security principle as well. It looks like with AI, it's more like generate the code, but then you need to ver- verify that as well. Now, in your book, also like how you talk about almost AI becoming a teacher, right? Not just a worker. Because in one section of your book, you describe AI in ask mode, right? Where instead of having the AI write the solution, you ask AI to explain the problem and then write the code yourself. So I really love your idea of using AI almost like a rubber duck debugging, where the duck kind of talks back to you. How can we use AI to make people better thinkers rather than simply faster producers? Because one thing I know more and more people are kind of concerned about is people are pretty much letting AI do most of the thinking for them. And that is quite dangerous. So
Yeah.
I really like what you propose in in your book. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I think that's also a kind of um, not well understood part of AI, that probably the single most productivity gain of AI is how it's good at explain you the code. I mean, if you work
Mhm.
in a bigger company, the code base is definitely beyond any single person to understand.
Yes.
And in the past, we were used to spend the days reading all the stuff, and now you can ask AI and get it.
Mm.
And also, it's even more critical in the onboarding when you have a new person or coming to your project. AI can help really a lot. I mean, when I joined my current company, I spent the first weeks basically just asking AI stuff about the code base all the day,
Mm.
and it's so much powerful and brings me really up to the speed. And when you know, it's a bit like we said before, when you know about what you actually needed to do, you can
Mm.
safely instruct AI to write. But if you don't know what is really needed and you just pass whatever your manager asks you to do to the AI, you are
Yes.
not basically you are cutting out of your job because
Mm.
if I make a mistake, you have no clue about, and you
Right.
can say, "Oh, I don't know why I did this. Just AI did."
Yeah, that is really important. I can think even for young developer just getting started, if they rely too much on AI to do everything for them, then they may not even have a clue and understand the software that they are generating. That's a
Yeah,
mm,
even if you look at it from the leader point of view, if some ask someone to do this stuff, some the stuff is broken, and when ask a detail, the developer say, "Oh, I don't know, AI just did that."
yeah.
Of course, the leader thinks, "Okay, but why I'm hiring you? I mean, I could ask AI myself."
Yes. Yes. Huh. Now, another thing in your book I wanna mention is the legacy code and technical debt. Now, every company I work for, we always have long technical debt and legacy code that you cannot always uh, transform, right? Bring up with a new technology. It looks like AI could potentially be really useful with large legacy system. But I think there might also be a risk, right? Creating legacy code from day one. I guess the question I have for you, could AI finally help organization tackle decades of technical debt, or could poorly governed AI actually create technical debt even faster than we've ever seen before?
Uh, the answer is yes and yes.
Yeah.
But now, on one side, is I mean, AI has a huge, generation power. So
Mhm.
it's something that it will take years to fix that nobody can afford. In
Yes.
AI, can be done in weeks, and so it's definitely possible to do bigger rewrite to fix. But you need a good process, so you need to be
Mhm.
absolutely sure that you are not. That we are replacing with something better, basically.
Yes.
And it's the same with your new stuff. I mean, when you are new startup or your new product, you need to make sure that you can write the new code, let AI write
Mhm.
the new code, but not losing the quality because um, also this is a bit counterintuitive, but it's not true that AI can work, that quality doesn't matter for AI. I mean,
Yes.
AI, like human, work much better with a good code base rather than a bad code base.
I like that. The last question I'm going to ask you. We are almost running out of time. I can't believe it. I could talk with you for hours. Let's talk about the AI powered workforce because more and more I hear executives saying things like, "Hey, AI will make every developer 3 times or 10 times more productive." What is wrong with measuring AI transformation primarily through productivity?
Uh, yeah, I mean, the point is that what does really means to be more productive. I mean, if we measure in lines of code produced, it's probably true, but that's not a good measure. And what is really important is developer understanding, and AI can definitely help us on that. To but I mean, saying that is 10 times or 100 times is a really misleading. There is definitely a big improvement, and it's definitely something that everybody should use. I have no doubt about, and it will be used more in the future. But
with a clear process and governance in place. Yeah.
exactly.
No, I agree. So if I ask you to take your crystal ball as a senior software engineer and look into the future, 5 years from now, let's say in 2031, what does a high-performing software engineering team look like? Are humans still writing much code themselves? What does that look like in 5 years?
I don't think a human will write any code.
Wow.
And I think at some point we also stop looking at the code directly, but we will still take responsibility. So AI will, I don't know, prepare some clear document or some test and case. So everything that ensure that the quality is still good of the code. The code can be for quality. Code quality is a big topic, but mostly for me means that the code can be changed. So it doesn't have the bugs, and they can be changed in the future.
Like so, do you think software developer might become an obsolete title? Maybe I don't know, we are becoming more system designer, problem solver, or AI orchestrator in the future?
Yeah, I mean, for sure they will be very, very different. And I don't know if the name, I mean, it's still developing software. Is programming probably won't really, I mean, programming will be a bit like now,
It's just going
I
to be
don't know.
different. Now, if
Like
AI is increasingly, that is really fascinating. So a lot of what things that used to be kind of like science fiction is becoming true and true every day. It's incredible. See, if AI is increasingly handling the syntax and the implementation, real architecture, then domain expertise, communication, like we talked about at the beginning of the show, critical thinking, cybersecurity, and judgment, would those things become more valuable from the human side then?
Yes, definitely, because that will be actually probably these things are now only, architect level or staff engineer or stuff like that level responsibility, but they will become absolutely for everybody.
Now, you in the 80s in Italy, they didn't have, I think only had 2 universities that taught technology back then. Even myself, when I started in the mid 90s here in the US, most computer science universities, department, all they did is teach you how to program. They didn't teach cybersecurity. They didn't teach anything else. Now, a lot of things have changed since then. Today, you can actually have a doctorate in information security if you wanted to, but 15, 20 years ago, that wasn't even possible. So thinking about the workforce of the future, like we've talked about, what do you think universities should be teaching today, computer science student, that they are not teaching enough of the way technology is changing so quickly?
I don't even not sure that the university as we think about that now it will be still that useful. And I would like more like something student use AI to learn, and then instead they use the professor time to understand deep questions or stuff like that, rather than having this frontal lesson and the test.
Yeah. That could change a lot of things. Now, was there a chapter that was most challenging for you to write, or if not challenging, maybe a chapter that made you change some of your assumption after you wrote it?
I think the last chapter was about the teams, how AI will change in teams, and it's still something that on one side is still changing a lot. So I at the beginning wasn't that confident that things will go in the way that I wrote in the book, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that more or less. And it's still early, but I think developing a good AI strategy for the whole team and not just a single contributors, and the whole company
Yes.
is still very, very challenging.
Hmm. That is really something. Yeah, because in your book you do have a lot of chapter and section. I know at the end you say demystifying large language model. Right, attention is all you need. What are
Yeah,
large language model, the vector database, and the consideration. And again, things in AI are moving pretty quickly. If people who read your book, if they could only take one and only one lesson, what do you think a young engineer should really get by reading your book? What's the most important lesson you think?
yeah. I think it should learn about keeping the edge. I mean, keeping control on
Yes.
what AI is doing, and not trust. Uh, Use but
Love
not
it.
trust.
Yeah. Again, the book we are talking about is Process Over Magic Beyond Vibe Coding. Faster, smarter, safer coding with AI assistant. Okay. We've already run out of time. Can you give me 5 more minutes before we end, Uberto?
Sure, sure.
Okay. I really loved everything we have talked about, but I must ask you. You have reinvented yourself over and over again, repeatedly across languages, technologies, industries, countries, and now with artificial intelligence. What do you think is your personal system for remaining relevant, for remaining curious, right? After decades of technology, how do you do it?
Yeah, I think that was exactly. I mean, remain curious. I mean, remain never thinking to know everything, and
Mm.
always be open and to love to learn. I really love like to learn
Yes.
new stuff. Yes.
Hmm. Okay, we are going to end the show. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer as quickly as you can. First thing that comes out of your mind. Okay, we're gonna. I like to call it rapid fire closing. Okay, human programmer or AI agent? Which one produces the more interesting bugs? You think?
Uh, sorry. The
Oh, which one produces more interesting bugs? The human programmer or the AI agent?
human
Okay, one AI tool you couldn't imagine giving up today.
uh, cloud code.
Okay. One technology trend you believe is overhyped.
Um, so many.
Okay, two.
um, yeah.
First one that comes to mind.
Uh, yeah, I prefer.
Okay. Okay. What about a book? A book that you didn't write? Because I believe you have written two books
Yeah,
so far. Right? Your first book was this one, which I'm going to ask my audience to buy
yeah.
also, From Object to Function. Build your software faster and safer with functional programming and Kotlin. And then, of course, the book we've been talking about this entire hour, which is Process Over Magic Beyond Vibe Coding. Which book would you recommend to young engineer? A book that you didn't write?
I would recommend the functional programming book if you want to learn about programming seriously.
Well, that's the one that you wrote. No, a book that you didn't write. A book written by somebody else.
Sorry. Um, some book on basic skill on computer science first.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Who has had the greatest influence on your leadership?
Uh, I mean, some managers that I had, some very good manager, and also bad manager that told me what not to do.
Wow. What was one of the greatest lessons they taught you, either what to do or not to do?
um, Listen to the people and empower people to create a solution
Hmm,
rather than dictate. Yeah.
that's true leadership. Wow. And what advice would today's Roberto give to the young programmer who began this journey back in the 90s when there were only two universities that taught computer science in Italy? What would you say to that young man today?
Stay curious and don't delegate understanding. Use AI, but never delegate understanding.
And what does success mean to you today? I'm sure your definition of success may have changed.
Having a good family, living a good life, fulfilling life.
Wow. All right. We are at the end of the show now. As we end, I always like to ask, what can we do to add value back to you? What can my audience do, you, Berto, to add value back to you today?
It will be very nice if people read my blog and ask a question on LinkedIn on my blog. I will also, now that the book is finished, I will also blog more about the new stuff as they came out, basically to keep relevant.
Yes. Fantastic. Okay, now that we are at the end, before I ask you my last question, is there something I should have asked you I didn't get the chance to ask? Anything else you wanted to share today, sir?
Well, not really. I mean, that's been a really nice. I cannot think of anything specific.
Okay, here's my last question for you. Imagine a 20-year-old engineer who's watching us right now, whether they are in the military or Silicon Valley, the people I care the most about. They are excited about AI, but they are worried that AI may eventually make their skills obsolete. What would you tell a young engineer, whether it's a young woman or a young man? What would you tell them to stop worrying about, and what would you tell them never to surrender to the machine?
Stay passionate about building products, because programming will probably be delegated, but building great products and great architecture won't be delegated. So
wow, I love that. Well, thank you so much, Uberto. We really appreciate your time. Thank you for spending an extra 10 minutes with us. Very last question for you. Can you tell us one word to you that crystallized our time together on this podcast? One word.
Super interesting.
Yeah, and I am so grateful you made time to talk to us all the way from Japan. I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone from so far. Oh no, I guess I interviewed two people from Australia. That's further away than Japan is, but from that side of the world, I know it's already tomorrow where you are. We are in your yesterday, so thank you so much for making the time to talk to me.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Bye. All right, everybody, this is one for the book. Again, please follow Uberto on LinkedIn, and that's linkedin.com in Uberto. Very, very easy. And get a copy of his latest book, especially this one, which was released only a couple of months ago, Process Over Magic Beyond Vibe Coding. I think this is such a timely book. Okay, that's all I have today. Just a reminder, our friend in the spotlight this week is Admiral Mike Studman. You can read about him, and I'm going to have a new one starting this Friday. And also for our Black History Year, which we celebrate almost every day here, I finally got it published. It's General Daniel Chappie James Jr. He's the very first African-American 4-star general in any branches of the U.S. military. He really was a living legend. It's just incredible, his life and what his legacy really teach us even today. All right, that's all I have for you. I believe I have one more interview tomorrow. I will have the promo by the end of today. So I hope you can join us tomorrow as well, and have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If today's episode added value to your leadership journey, be sure to subscribe, share, and join us again for more wisdom nuggets on how to lead better and achieve greater success. Remember, leadership is the most critical skill of our time. The world will always need leaders to inspire others, drive innovation, and execute meaningful strategy. So why not count yourself among the bold leaders shaping the 21st century? Until next time, stay inspired, stay committed, and keep leading with excellence.